There's a story in our town about an outlaw named Montana Brown. He fought and laid the women in every tavern, but that was until he met the pretty girl named Saturn. He would take her riding and she loved everything he taught her. There was just one problem, though this pretty maiden was the sheriff's daughter. For years, old Montana had lived a life of crime. The sheriff vowed that one day old Montana would do time. Old Montana had lived a life of crime. The sheriff vowed that one day old Montana would do time. Old Montana ran from Jacksonville to Salome, but the sheriff never expected to see him at home. The sheriff told Saturn she couldn't see old Montana no more, and with that notion she cried on the floor. The sheriff had old Montana chased out of town. He put his own daughter under lockdown. For years the sheriff followed Montana from here to there. No matter where he followed, he couldn't catch him anywhere. Miss Saturn was married and given to mayor of the town, but in her heart she missed old Montana Brown. After 6 years the sheriff finally gave up his hunt, went back home to raise a puppy runt. The town was quiet night and day, and night completely silent. But town the sheriff thought no drama would ever come around. Heading back was old Montana Brown. Montana was heading back to get Miss Saturn, marry her in a dress of pretty patterns. Sneaking into town in the dead of night, Montana thought he would avoid a fight. Saturn on his horse, they grabbed hay bale. Little did they, the sheriff was already on their trail. Up their mountain they heard the bullets flying. The sheriff was on them and Saturn was crying. Face to face the sheriff got Montana at the end of his gun. Montana knew he could never run. The shot rang out and the night was silence. Miss Saturn jumped in the way of all the violence. They buried Miss Saturn in the ground. In the jail Montana sat around. The keys were thrown into his cell. The sheriff told him they would both burn in hell. Montana was free and he left in a flash. The sheriff gave him all of his cash. The people found the sheriff above the ground. A rope around his neck was found. Hung in the air with nothing but regret. He prayed in death he could forget. As he ran, only once did he turn around. And that's the story of old Montana Brown.